So in today's video, I'm going to be explaining Makima from Chainsaw Man in detail, from who she is as a character all the way down to her abilities. The first set of videos I wanted to get out while covering Chainsaw Man on the channel was definitely my explanation based ones, so today I'll start with Makima, but be sure to let me know in the comments who you want to see next. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Oh yeah, and this video will contain spoilers for Chainsaw Man in its entirety, but I'll try not to stray from any information that doesn't strictly relate to Makima.
Spoilers, guys. If you have not seen Chainsaw Man, for some reason, just be aware of that. Spoilers coming up.
So most of you, if you've been keeping up with the times, have definitely heard of Makima from Chainsaw Man for whatever reason. But who is Makima, what's her role in the story, and what is she capable of? Makima is initially introduced to us in the series during the first chapter. Following Denji's triumph against the Yakuza and the Zombie Devil, we see the arrival of a beautiful young lady who seems to be in her mid-20s, and we soon found out that she's working as a devil hunter for public safety. While Makima's introduction to this series serves to widen the plot and puts our protagonist Denji on his path as a devil hunter for public safety, trying to sustain his newfound life, as much as we think we know Makima, we very quickly learn that we don't know anything about Makima at all, which says a lot. As most of the characters we get introduced to early on in the series, we can get a rough sense of their character and their intentions for the most part, but with Makima, honestly, she's shrouded in mystery right up to the ending portion of part 1. And even when we finally get an explanation on who Makima is, which I'm going to touch upon shortly, she still remains as somewhat of an enigma for me personally. With that being said, let's finally start getting into Makima's abilities, and there's a huge spoiler here in regards to Makima's identity, which I'm sure some of you might not want to know, so I'll just give you a few seconds to leave if that's the case.
You can still leave, guys. No hard feelings.
Okay, so Makima's abilities throughout the series are quite vast and are purposely meant to be something we are in the dark about. And the reason for this is because of Makima's true identity of being the Control Devil, who embodies the fear of control. Upon learning this fact about Makima and that she's the main antagonist of part 1, her abilities we've seen throughout the series start to make a lot more sense. So first things first, let's start with Makima's standard abilities, with her being a devil. As Makima is the Control Devil, Makima has the ability to regenerate through the consumption of blood, like all other devils. In addition to this, Makima can make contracts with humans at a cost, which will then allow said humans to gain her powers as the Control Devil. And even though we never literally saw Makima create contracts in this manner of an honest exchange, it still applies to her. The best example of this can be through Makima's contract with the Prime Minister of Japan, where in exchange for her working for Japan, she has a contract that literally makes her invincible, since any injury that would be fatal or life-threatening towards Makima is converted into an illness/disease that then gets inflicted onto a random Japanese citizen, which has proven useful time and time again. However, with her control abilities, Makima is definitely one of the most dangerous devils present in the series, just for the simple fact of what she can do with her ability to control others. And what I'm about to go over is just what we've seen her do using her powers, but I'm sure there are limitless applications to using her control abilities, which we will never know about or have answers to. So Makima is able to control anyone or anything she deems to be inferior to her. It has to be living, of course, but once Makima has control, she can pretty much do anything when she's manipulating her targets, like completely changing the personalities of those she's controlling, for instance, or even forcing the control target to make a completely one-sided contract. In addition to this, Makima can also use the abilities of anyone that fell under her control, be it dead or alive, as we saw her activate the anti-mortem abilities of the deceased with contracts, in addition to the abilities of the other active devils/humans under her control. Though this direct form of control has been seen to be activated through use of a chain that connects Makima to those she's controlling, or with Makima placing her hand on the deceased to then command the said contracted devils with her voice. Also, it seems that when Makima controls people for the most part, it results in the person experiencing memory loss, therefore making them forget the moment they originally met Makima and when she first put them under her spell, as we saw with the Angel Devil and with Aki. Next up, we learned that Makima has the ability to borrow the hearing from lower life forms such as rats, birds, etc., which allows her to have ears in all places, meaning that there's almost no place where you can avoid Makima's grasp, which is really scary in all honesty. She doesn't even need to be present, but she knows what's going on at all times. However, as we saw when Kishibe and Kwangsi were discussing, there is a way to get around this ability of Makima's, and that's to communicate without speaking, or be in a place where no other life forms can be present. In addition to this ability to borrow the hearing of lower life forms, Makima can also instantly transport herself to the location of the said life forms, as in chapter 52 we saw Makima instantly appear at Reese's location after a group of rats in the alleyway piled together to form a gateway, I guess you could say, for Makima to appear. It's not made clear as to whether she can only use this mode of transport through rats specifically, since that's the only time we saw this done with animals, but I'd assume that this works with other lower life forms in general. However, we did see Makima do something similar when everyone got cast into hell by Santa Claus and the Hell Devil. She told Prince the Spider Devil to call her, and she instantly appeared out of her body, so who can really say the exact requirements for this ability? Moving on, let's have a look at Makima's more offensive skills. Despite how cunning and manipulative Makima is, she's also really strong, which was evident through her battle against Pochita when she was going head to head with his chainsaws purely using hand-to-hand combat, which is very telling of her pure physical strength. Alongside this, we've also seen Makima kill people just by simply looking at them, decapitating multiple enemies with a
Wow.
sword, and my personal favourite, her ability to literally kill people by crushing them with an invisible force. Though this specific technique requires a human sacrifice, and the name of the target she wants to be killed has to be uttered by said sacrifice, so it's sort of a life for life thing. But nonetheless, it's an insanely dangerous technique, which she initiates with various hand symbols. Also, the one time we saw Makima use this
That is wow. I mean, again, there's restrictions to it. Again, she has to have a sacrifice, but just having that ability is terrifying. Imagine having beef with Makima and knowing that at any moment, you're just sitting in your house like we are right now, or you're driving your car or walking somewhere. At any moment, this invisible force just come in and just crush you like like you're a bug in someone's hand. Can you just imagine the terror? I mean, a lot people don't know that she's the control devil, but just that has to be terrifying. That has to be terrifying. Like imagine knowing what she is and you said something to her, or someone tells her that you said something about her, and at any moment you can just, just be crushed wherever you are. That is absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying and quite frankly overpowered. And because she made the contract with the Prime Minister of Japan, that means that you can't really get rid of her unless the prime minister either revokes that contract or I guess the prime minister dies. I'm not sure how it works, but with that contract, instead of dying, some other person in the world or Japan will just, get cancer or something like that, and she could just be brought back to life or won't suffer any type of damage at all. Wow. Wow.
technique was by a shrine, so whether high ground or location is a prerequisite to performing this technique, we just don't know. And like I said earlier, Makima is still somewhat of an enigma. Despite everything we learn, we still really know nothing. And I forgot to mention that with the sword technique and the sacrifice one, when she performed these moves, all those around her covered their eyes with black cloth, so they couldn't see what was going on, which was likely just a work order on Makima's end to hide her abilities, and not that witnessing these events would have a negative effect on those around her. Last but not least, Makima has this technique where she
Mm,
points with her index finger, and then the target is inflicted with damage. But personally, I like to think of it as like an invisible gun slash cannon, since it was capable of one-shotting a fiend by completely ripping a hole through their body, and Makima also used this technique in succession, which resulted in her enemy being sent all the way up into space, which speaks for itself really. And a little side note, she also has an insane sense of smell, and that's how she differentiates those she comes into contact with, though this was just Denji's hypothesis. So after going through all of Makima's abilities, it's clear that she's insanely overpowered and one of the strongest devils we will ever see in the world of Chainsaw Man, but I personally
yep.
just like how versatile she is and the uniqueness of her techniques. I think it really helps to portray the threat that she serves as the big bad of Chainsaw Man, with part 1 anyway, and her abilities definitely represent what you'd expect of the person who is the control devil. But with that being said, we come to the
Hmm.
end of the video, and I hope I did a good job explaining Makima, as this video was kind of hard for me to get started with, but we pulled through in the end. So if you did enjoy the video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, subscribe to this guy. Um, this was extremely informative, and the way he was able to combine, compile the evidence, it was just fantastic. He did a great job of really simplifying the lore and making it easy to digest and fully interpret without um, being a scholar in the Chainsaw Man mythos, or reading all the manga, or reading or watching every episode, looking at all the um, information for each one of the arcs. This was just really, really convenient. Like these YouTubers are making research in terms of these characters so easy. We're so spoiled these days. Back in the day, if you didn't watch the entire series or even have access to the entire series, um, you just didn't understand what was going on. So we're so spoiled today. We are so spoiled. We can just click a button and just learn everything within reason about whatever subject we're looking for. That's just insane. That is absolutely insane. That is just, oh man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I know I'm spoiled. I know I'm spoiled brat, but I'm loving it. I really am. I'm really loving it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. You were warned that that was a huge spoiler. Now I got informed about that twist a long time ago. I didn't want that to happen to you guys. That's why, I let you know early in the video, and so did the person who posted the video, who made this video. He let you know, listen, like, there's huge spoilers ahead, not just about the background of the character, but who the character is. And hopefully this wasn't, you know, devastating for you guys, especially since there were so many warnings in advance about the potential spoilers ahead. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Let me know how you think this is going to play out as far as Chainsaw Man and the Control Devil, and if you think they're going to take each other out, or if anyone's read further in the manga, don't spoil it for everybody else. This video is enough of a spoiler. Don't put anything else in the comment section in regards to what happens after this, after all this information. Don't be that person. I really appreciate everyone watching this, especially to the end. It really means a lot. Go subscribe to this YouTuber's channel. I've been on Acklear, and you guys have been amazing. Take care.